hate puppies. It's good podcast.
I feel threatened. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Inside the Pallet House. Hope you are doing well. I wish I'd started this 5 minutes ago because the conversation that was just being had was certainly interesting, to say the least. I didn't know this, but Virginia ranks 17th in the list of porn stars from the state. Who knew? Apparently,
over 50. Yeah, there's over 52 of them that are from the state of Virginia. Puts us 17th out of 50.
And
nice.
There you go. And that is math. Welcome.
The fact that someone got paid to figure that out, I find astonishing.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody spent a lot of time on Wikipedia.
Well, I was going to say, did somebody really, or did anyone research that? Or could you just shot from the hip and been like, let's give them 52 and give them 47 and they're next to them?
There's so much shit that people spew these days that I'm like, that's horse shit. Like, I was listening to Elliot and Diane's doing news and she's like, last week there were still so many million people that went to work. I'm like, how the fuck do you know that?
Yeah.
Explain to me how you know that. You don't know that.
Yeah.
They didn't ask me. What, they got a helicopter and they're counting people? Like, y'all don't know that. You know what I mean? It's like, we get overwhelmed with stats.
It's like the Nielsen's ratings. No one's ever known anyone that has been a part of that, but you hear the Nielsen's ratings say that was the highest rated show ever. It's like,
right.
Who's had a Nielsen's box? No one.
Just Mr. Nielsen. That's all.
Yeah.
Some 80-year-old dude. Hey, did you watch it this week?
Yeah. I give it 2 stars. You should say that everyone likes it.
I think if I remember correctly, there were actually 400 Nielsen boxes in the entire state of Virginia, and they based all of their marketing and stats off of that, and that was a representative of the state.
That's a good science right there.
This is like how we're doing COVID testing. We're just 400, extrapolate the numbers, facts.
Exactly.
400 houses in my neighborhood.
It's really how all studies are done, though. That's really the only way they can do it.
Yeah.
Not the census.
I did do the Nielsen. I did fill out the Nielsen rating one time without the box. They sent it to me. I said, yes, I would. And they actually sent me a $20 bill in the mail. And
Is that Brigitte Nielsen?
Yes.
Brigitte Nielsen.
What'd you rank on her rating?
Big old pollster. Everybody knows that.
It would take less than $20 for Bridget Nielsen over here. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'm in.
These days.
Yeah, I did that once for the radio. They sent me $1, and they sent me the $1 with the initial envelope. Before they ever asked if I would want to do it, they sent me $1, and I guess that's just enough to make me go, well, now I got to do it.
Yeah.
So I did it, and I got to ramp up all my favorite shows. Like, just wrote them up.
All the Q Morning Zoos.
Yeah, basically. Like, I listened to this all day on repeat.
Yeah.
It didn't work. Opie and Anthony still got fired. I was like writing in Rod and Fez from Sirius XM for 6 hours, 4-hour show. It's doing my part. So did you guys do anything good this weekend in your sitting at home?
I broke
a bunch of tree removal.
Oh, you took down some trees?
Well, I did. I took out trees that have fallen and they've been like annoying me and up and down my driveway.
Did you get more than usual from the storm that came through?
No, I didn't get any, but these are trees that have fallen over like the past 2 years that I've just haven't cleaned up. And so I probably I got a big car trailer and I filled that thing twice.
Damn.
Wow.
Full of dead trees.
Did you cut them up?
Yeah, I had to, I got a dope ass chainsaw. So
are you going to keep it as firewood?
No, I got a giant dump pile back in the woods where I just dump all kinds of shit.
I got to get a good
Not
chainsaw.
your trash, dude. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah, you do.
I've got an electric chainsaw that, you have to put oil in there to keep the chain going. This thing.
You didn't know that?
I've got, I'm explaining it to those that don't. Thank you, Troy. And I've got an electric chainsaw that leaks more oil than anything I've ever had. Like it's constantly just dripping oil everywhere, and it's electric.
That's saying something from someone who's had as many beaters as you had.
I think they all do, honestly.
Well, that's what I was wondering. So it's just the system. It's literally just going in a reservoir and splashing that stuff. So
yeah, I mean, I have a brand new commercial grade Husqvarna, and it still leaks.
Yeah, my cheap gas power one leaks oil like a sieve too.
All right, I'm glad to hear that because I've always just thought it was ironic. I'm covered in oil. They were like, "What were you doing?" I'm like, "Using the electric chainsaw. What's it look like I've been doing? Covered in oil."
Are they supposed to, when it comes to like keeping the chain lubricated?
Well, there's two types of oil. So like for the electric one, it's a lubrication oil, like for the chain, like you're talking about, and then the gas power ones, of course, have the oil for the gas mixture too, but they also have the lubricating oil as well.
Bingo. Bar and chain oil. They all take bar and chain oil, and then obviously oil for the engine.
So, Ely, are you out of projects yet? I mean, I feel like
dude, no. I could work around here for a year straight and not work 40 hours at all and still have projects to do.
God.
Is anyone that owns a home ever out of projects, really?
Right.
I mean,
well, you know how like
because there's all kinds of things that you would like to do. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing that I have to do, but there's tons of things that I would.
Was it your call to go out and do those trees, or did the wife send you on that mission?
No. I've been on my list for a while.
She probably didn't even notice them ever.
No, she notices stuff
some
like
trees laying down in the woods. I didn't think she would care.
But I wouldn't say in the woods, but more like if you come into our driveway,
I didn't
like on the edge of, you know what I mean, where it's like there's a giant tree laying there.
But that sounds like a man project. That sounds like one where you were like, hey, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to fire up the chainsaw and I'm going to go do some shit all day. And you can disappear for an afternoon. I mean, it's like playing golf. You come back, you're like, that was cool. Like I did something I wanted to do. My wife gave me a list of projects.
It was heavy as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
My wife gave me a list of projects, and I don't want to do any of them. And she had one on there that scared the bejesus out of me. And it was like, you see all these projects, and I feel bad because she'll hand me the honey-do list, and she'll pick an inopportune moment because I think that's how that always goes. They never like go, well, you look happy right now. Here's a list. They're like,
but is the honey-do list a list of things? Is the honey-do list a list of things that you already know need to be done that she's reminding you, or you have no clue?
These are usually ones I'm unaware of. Like it's projects that I'm like, why do we need to do that? You know, like
that list does not exist at my house.
I'm jealous.
I've never had anything like that.
I'm just like, so she had
anything that I do is something that like we both see needs to be done. Like, hey, the mulch beds are hideous. We need to get those done. There's nothing that's like we haven't already talked about. Like the wallpaper needs to come down in that room. It's not like I'm getting caught by surprise at the fact that the wallpaper needs to come down in the room.
Oh yeah, my stuff's always caught by surprise. I feel like there's usually like one or two gimmies on the list, but then there's things where I'm like, why are we painting that room? Like that room is perfectly fine.
Didn't you duck a thing she asked you to do last week or something? Going to the dump. That's what it was.
That was the thing. So there were two things on the list, and you can't really veto all the things on the list. So I was like, look, I'm not going to that dump. I heard it's like an hour wait. I don't want to go. But another thing that she had on there was she wanted like shelves installed in the laundry room, like above the dryer.
Yeah.
Above the washer dryer. But like in order to do that, you have to drill in to the laundry room wall, which is of all the walls in the house, I don't want to start drilling into. It's the one that has all the voltage and all the water at the same time. So it was like, I was hesitant, but I'd already vetoed the stupid, the dump run. Because I knew the dump run involved far more. That's hauling everything out of the attic on top of the frustration of the dump run. But so I had to install these shelves. I don't think I've ever looked for a stud so precisely in my life. Like doing the tap test and go, okay, here are my hot top suspects. And then I'm using the stud finder and I'm like, okay, these ones add up. Like I was I was vigilant about that because I didn't want to hit like a water line, you know, because that's devastating. You hit a water line back there, it's over. You're screwed. Oh, I pulled it off, but that was one that I was like, I don't want.
You knew there was water. You knew there was water up above your washer dryer.
Yeah, I mean, you see the damn spigots right there. You got to turn on and off. You know,
yeah, they usually come from the bottom.
Yeah, they come from the bottom, but you don't know where the electrical is, and you don't know if they're running another place. Plus, they sometimes run them bitches through the actual studs, like to get across a room, and so you don't know if you're going into a stud right where there happens to be a pipe, and you go in an inch and pop. You know, I was nervous about it, but I drilled a lot of holes. Everything's okay. I didn't see anything go wrong, and I'm alive.
Good work.
I didn't want anything to do with that one. I was like, who puts a shelf underneath shelves? Like,
my thing with projects like that is I don't mind doing them in my head. I'm like, oh, that should be a quick, easy, hour, 2 hour job that'll be fulfilling. But I never find that any project I've ever done goes well and correctly the first time. Like, it just never does.
No.
And it's 3 trips to Home Depot and a half of my day, and I'm in a bad mood at the end.
I just always add new projects. That's my problem. Is I just, I'll have a list of 10. I'll get it down to 8, and then I'll think of 3 more things. But then I have a hard time not doing it. It's like, I've got that workout stuff. Stu that your brother gave me, and I'm like, what would be really cool would be like a cable to pull down to do like tricep pull downs and lat pull downs, and I'm like, I really do need that. What the hell? Why am I? So now I got this extra project.
Yeah,
I'm like,
those are the kind of projects I like, though. Like I sit up at night and go, ooh, I'm gonna build something tomorrow, and like I get amped up about that. I start researching it. It's the projects that come out of left field that just kill me. They sap your whole Saturday.
Well, like we were talking right before we got on, I just happened to look it up, but because of this whole quarantine, Home Depot and Lowe's, they're like having a 15-20% bump in their typical, spring market sales, which makes up for like 30% of their, like spring market makes up for 30% of their annual sales. And it's going through the roof because everybody's sitting at home going, all right, instead of putting it off and doing it every 6 months, some project, I can do all these projects all at once.
Was anybody else afraid that he was going to start talking about Bailey J's penis when he said, like we were talking about before the show? I was like, why are you bringing this up? Yeah. I was like, how does this tie in?
I know I got a couple of friends that work at Home Depot, and one of them's a manager at a local one, and I ran into him when I was up there last week, and I said, dude, I hear y'all are killing it. He's like, yeah, man, I'm working my ass off. I said, yeah, I got another friend, everybody here knows him, works at a different one. He said, yeah, he goes, all the hourly guys, they're working up to 30 hours overtime and getting paid double time. He's like, I got hourly employees making more than management here. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. That makes sense.
That's crazy.
And I know the Lowe's gave everyone over 65 the option to stay home and get full pay.
Yeah, and Home Depot's like, and I'm sure Lowe's is doing it. Like, if you work X amount of hours, you get like $100 bonus. On top of all your bonus. Like, it's just they're incentivizing the hell out of them.
Hazardous duty pay.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of hazardous duties. Oh my God.
George Brett.
Yesterday, my wife was like, she loves on the weekends to do like order food from the local restaurants.
Yeah.
And she was like, I want to go to Firebirds. I was like, we don't even go to Firebirds when we're not stuck at home. Like, why are we doing this? She was like, I just want Firebirds. Like, I don't want anything else. So I was like, all right, I'll take a steak sandwich. These sons of bitches, they must have just bathed this steak in salt for like 3 days. And then they cooked it up and it was just nothing but gristle and fat and just the worst steak I've ever had on a brioche bun. And I ate it because I'm a man, and I got like horribly sick. Like I was crapping all day yesterday. I was crapping all day today. I actually told Troy earlier I was contemplating not doing the podcast tonight because I was crapping so much. That is
Were you puking too?
No, just hazardous duties.
There you go. There
Sounds
you
like
go.
a show name if I ever heard one.
Yeah, that's a good show name. I'm writing that down.
Yeah. It comes on right after Dirty Jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was brutal though. I just and like the tater tots that just been soaked in salt. Like everything was just, it was like a salt lick and gristle. Is basically what I got.
So my mom, she lives in the apartment directly behind Firebirds, and every time I go over there, whether it's even now or pre-virus, whatever, I go hang out with her, and it just like I can't leave there or hang out without being hungry because they grill. It just, the smoke just comes over and over, and you smell everything that they're cooking, and it's like, oh my god, I'm hungry 24/7 sitting there. I was like, I couldn't live there.
I would recommend avoiding it during the quarantine because they've got the B squad back there cooking the food. I'm using the podcast as a horrible Yelp review. Just taking them out. I'm channeling my inner Karen.
Yeah, when Brendan told me he thought about canceling the podcast, I was like, whoa, you were in a bad way, because we've had a lot of bad, starts to a podcast, but not, I might have to cancel it.
It was bad, man.
Y'all hearing about the potential food shortage drama?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So what's the whole scoop on this? Because I've read a couple articles, but is this because there's a worker shortage? They can't have all the people in the plants that they're not processing it. What's the scoop?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's a partial though. The work shortage is part of it.
Then what's the other part?
The other part is that there's a 40% lack in demand. The supply's there. There's no demand because if you take away all of the restaurants, all of the other commercial industries that are buying up chicken, poultry, eggs, milk, all of that, and what's going to end up happening is that to take beef, for example, the processing plants now, instead of processing the beef for sale, they're actually turning some of these plants into euthanizing the cattle because there's nowhere for them to go. And the byproduct of that is that the beef in a month, let's say in a month, we open back up the economy. Well, the beef doesn't grow in a month. It takes 18 months, 2 years to get a cow or a steer ready to go to be slaughtered.
So we still can't process it somewhere.
So hold on. Why would food demand be down?
Because the restaurants aren't serving anything.
But we're still eating the same.
We're not eating the same. We're not getting it from the same places.
That's a totally different argument. Where you get it doesn't have anything to do with demand.
No, where we get our food. So let's say they sell.
My point is if you're eating chicken, if you're getting it from Chipotle, now you're just getting it from the grocery store.
Yeah,
right,
but instead of
Chipotle's not
wholesaling it to Chipotle, sell it to Kroger.
So let's say 50% of the chicken is bought by Kroger and 50% is bought by Chipotle. Now Chipotle's not buying. We're not going to go buy
buying 75%.
They're not because there's not a bigger demand.
No, the demand.
He's not understanding what you're saying.
I mean, I've got to admit that my fridge has more food in it than it has in God knows how long because we're not going out to eat as often. So I understand what Ely's saying. Like we're stocking up. We're not going out.
Yeah, but it's not nearly the capacity at what, let's look at restaurants, colleges, institutional places, catering services. I mean, everything is not buying.
I think
but I understand what you're saying in your point, and I don't know that you're wrong. But if you look at it from just base theory, you're still those
consumers are still eating the same.
People are still eating the same amount of food, no matter where they get it from. So if that college kid that was eating at the dining hall is now eating groceries at home, so the mass of food is likely still similar, but
getting it from a different place,
right?
Yeah, but meat costs more than noodles, right? So if I've lost my job, then I may not be investing in meat. I may be buying ramen noodles or something because I'm trying to save money.
That's a valid argument.
Yes.
Well, yes.
My understanding behind the food shortage drama is that it's strictly a supply issue where all of these people that were raising cattle, they can't get it, or any animal, or can't get it produced because the factories don't have people in there to produce it and deal with it. So instead, they're sending them ways on how to euthanize.
I think it realistically is probably a little bit of both. And I don't often jump on Stu's bandwagon, but I'm saying I kind of get it. It's the more expensive meat, and maybe people are eating a little less just to sustain if they've lost their job and their income.
Who cares about all that? Because if one person dies of coronavirus, and that's one too many, and we really shouldn't.
When you say it, you sound like an asshole.
It's fact. I mean, that's fact, right? I mean, shut it down.
Yeah. No, it's just the farmers don't have anywhere to dump their supply.
Right.
They're dumping tons of milk. They're killing cattle. I mean, there was like 3 million, the not just from the corona in the factories, but I mean, just there's not the supplies there. They just have nowhere to put it.
The killing of the cattle sounds ridiculous to me, though. I mean, it's like, can't you just send it back to the field and then pick it up in 6 months? I mean, if the argument is that we're euthanizing it and then, damn it, it takes 2 years to grow a cow, I'm like, well, why don't we just put it back in the minor leagues for fucking 6 months?
Yeah, or why can't we process it and freeze it somewhere? You're telling me we can't freeze it somewhere?
Right.
There's just, just look it up. I mean, not that I'm not saying that there's I'm just saying there's a ton of good information on it.
They're clearly saying that we are losing. We're potentially up against a shortage. I mean, that's the facts. I just didn't know all the rhyme or reason. These both arguments make perfect sense, because if you think that one issue isn't compounding the other, then you're not looking at it. So I believe they both are probably valid. That's crazy.
I mean, why? Okay, so here we go. Let's get to the question of why are these producers, do they not have people in them?
To save lives.
Smithfield not have people? Why do these plants not have people working right now?
To save lives.
Well, what I was reading was
I was getting to Karen. That's where I was going to go.
Yeah, but you're right. You can't have 10 people in the office slaughtering. It's a 500-person organization, to process all that meat that we eat. So
either way,
my point is, like, if the person had gotten the flu, they just send their asses home and keep working.
Yeah. So I think.
Yeah. Look at us.
I said, before, half of the businesses that have closed right now are closed out of fear. That's it.
Remember when
they would have kept grinding. Otherwise,
I like the good old days when romaine lettuce just had E. coli. Now look at us, we're fucked. Remember, Chipotle was the danger. Ooh.
I was going to say, to Ely's point, whether it's the virus in shops and production plants or whatever, or if it's the lack of restaurants or people that are buying, the end result is that there's plenty of supply. There's just nowhere for it to go, which means shortly, once everything opens back up, there will be a slower supply and prices are going to raise, and they're going to have this food shortage based on all of those factors that have played in.
Well, it depends on how you define supplies. You can't say supply. It's like saying we have a ton of supply of oil, but the refinery's broken. But supply is fine because the crude's there. You can't say that so we have a supply problem because it's not getting processed, basically. That should still be a supply function, right?
Well, demand. Either you can't process the demand or you can't deliver the demand because it's gone based on the restaurants or whomever being shut down.
We sound like a busted ass version of Shark Tank.
That's right.
Yeah. So here's my product. Let me tell you what I got here.
Hot dogs. Frozen hot dogs.
It's a domino. It's a domino effect.
I'm looking
everywhere,
for
but
$500,000 for 2% of my business.
Yeah. All I'm saying is the Smithfield plant is on the supply side,
right? And they shut down
because of the virus. That had nothing to do with demand.
Right,
not to fuel Stu's fire, but
specific.
Smithfield is owned by the Chinese.
That's the pig side. That's that play.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is like they're telling the government is issuing statements on how to telling these farmers how to euthanize and what they need to do to slow down their production. But at the same time, we just imported a ton of meat from outside the country that is like not even, grade D meat.
Yeah, that African meat or whatever that I saw.
Tiger
Namibia.
King.
It's coming from Namibia, right?
I guess. I think that's what that guy said.
Tiger King pizza topping meat.
Yeah. I got a question that I can't wrap my head around. Let's try to get to the bottom of this. Why are hospitals being told to inflate COVID deaths? I can't follow. That doesn't make sense, though, to me.
No, yeah, it doesn't.
Are they being told to inflate COVID deaths?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
And this isn't just some conspiracy theory, because this sounds like some nonsense.
Well, from what I heard,
I'm actually shocked that you haven't read any article on that, because I've read at least 5.
From what I read, I think it's a Medicare Medicaid thing. They get more funding. A lot of hospitals get a lot of funding from the government. So if they think if it's a coronavirus thing, then they might get more money than if it's just some sick old guy died.
Somebody comes in with pneumonia and you can turn around and say, "Oh, that was corona," and that'll inflate the numbers to get more money. I mean, that's not illogical.
Yeah, no, but I think the back end is that there is a push for death certificates to be labeled COVID, whether it was tested or was the cause or not, because then it will support the states and the Fed's position of quarantine.
Well, then
that doesn't make.
Okay, so this is not.
That just doesn't make sense to me, because that's like. This is not what.
This is not an active conspiracy theory that I've been hearing a lot about, but I am questioning, and that could lead into it, where you're saying they're being asked to inflate the numbers. Do you get the sense that there's something else happening? There's something we don't know, in the sense that this thing could be doing something else to us, or there's a bigger picture at hand that they know. You know how, like, say like a president comes into office, right? Like Jimmy Carter was like saying he was going to release all the UFO information as soon as he got in office. He got briefed for literally one day, and that dude turned around and said, "Never mind. I think we're good. There's nothing to see here." And he backed away.
Nothing to see here.
Yeah, he just backed away.
There's nothing to see here.
So do you think that there's more going on that they're realizing, and they're like, "Look, everybody just stay the fuck home"? And now we're seeing that the deaths might not be as bad as we thought. It might not be as bad, but they're still like, slow your roll, stay the fuck home. Do you think there's something else going on? Possibly.
For sure.
I have a hard time going down that rabbit hole personally.
I'm with you.
Well, no one wants to be wrong. So people will do whatever they can to make whatever they said right. So,
yeah, but the idea that, like, just to prove Pelosi's point, it's somehow trickled through the AMA and all the way down to every single hospital. I don't buy that.
Mm-mm.
Like, there's a lot of people in there that like she wrote a memo, and that somehow it's gotten down through all of the ranks down to every single nurse and mortician in the country right now. That makes no sense.
Ely, did you actually watch that video with the senator from Minnesota who was being interviewed? So that's where I think that, the CDC is putting out guidelines and asking, if you think, if it looks and you don't test.
So then Pelosi's really in a room with the CDC telling them how to do things like that. Just
I don't know about Pelosi. I'm just saying that there's an overall, whether it's right or left.
I just believe 9 out of 10 times it's some sort of human error that's causing. It's not so much twisting of the mustache of evil people as it is just
no. But I mean, like, what
a natural flaw and consequence of the system.
I'm just wondering,
and I
if
think there was a doctor or somebody that said this is serious, and then all of a sudden, a few weeks into it, they realized it's not quite as serious, but they went down a rabbit hole that they couldn't get out of.
Or could it be as simple as we told everybody we were going to flatten the curve, and then we're going to get this herd immunity, and then there was a realization somewhere out there that there is no immunity. You get it once, you can get it again tomorrow, and they've got a bigger problem, and they don't know what to do, so they're like, just stay the fuck home while we figure this out, because they're afraid there is no immunity. There's There is no next step. The vaccine's not the answer. They have to understand.
Right, but if you go down that logic, but Brendan, if you go down that logic, it follows the exact same path we've been dealing with every single flu and version of the flu for the last 50 years.
But you get immunity to the flu. We get immunity to the flu. If you get H1N1, you don't get it again for like 5 years. I'm just pontificating. I don't actually believe it. I just feel like it's odd that we've gotten to this point, and yet even though people are like open up, they're like, no, just stay home. And to Ely's point, from
right?
A
but
couple
at the
weeks
same
ago,
time,
maybe
though,
it's not about flattening the curve. Maybe there's something bigger at play.
It could be, but at the same time, every single time they come out with the flu vaccine each year, it's a shot in the dark because they say this is the one they think that's going to come. This is what they're going to do. And sometimes it works. And sometimes they're like, well, we missed the boat on the vaccine and more people are going to get the flu this year. So it could be the same scenario with COVID. We missed the boat and it could come back. Some people be immune.
I don't know something. I don't have a theory behind it. It was something I was thinking about the other day talking with somebody, and I was just like, that is interesting. Like, it does seem that we're reacting differently despite what the numbers are starting to show us now that we have them. It's almost like it's still tightening, which goes into everybody's conspiracy theories about they're just trying to take civil liberties or they're trying to microchip us. I mean, there's all this crazy stuff that maybe isn't that crazy, but I just wonder if there's something they know that they've figured it out and they're like, oh shit, we can't tell the public this part of it yet. Like, if you get it 3 years from now, you're going to have a stroke and die. Like, who knows? I mean, I don't know what
I don't see that because we would have seen some rogue doctor would have had some crazy video on YouTube talking about that already.
And that's a very, very good point because everybody wants to get their point out there. Yeah. I'm not saying it's right. It's just something I've been home for like 6 weeks. So
it is interesting to hear you kind of be on the different side of the coin at this point. You've clearly shifted based on this conversation.
I mean, in some level, I'm having thoughts that are more right field than, second base.
Well, like 2 weeks ago, you would have never been like, this just seems like we're overreacting a bit. Like you were nowhere near there.
Yeah, and I guess maybe it is general worry about the economy and all of that that's starting to weigh. But that was, if you look at it, I was weighing on that side from day one. The economy part scared me. Maybe this is just the growth of that particular fear.
Well, the longer that we do this, you're like, what the fuck are we doing? There's no one even talking about an end to this.
Yeah.
And the shocking thing is that despite the fact that the four of us are sitting here and we're all seeing data that's like it's way less than they're expecting, all the numbers are dropping, there's still shit tons of people on the other side that are like, this has to continue, keep going
forever.
And then they play the psychological game. Instead of saying, okay, it's going to end December 1st, which would cause a huge backlash. They keep saying, well, we'll just do 2 weeks. And they assume people can say, oh, I can do another 2 weeks. Well, then we're going to add another 2 weeks. And then we'll just add. Next thing you know, it's January. We've been in quarantine for fucking 9 months.
It's going to be hard to get these people off the dole, too, once you get used to being on it. Especially I hear a lot of people are making more money with unemployment than they were at their job.
Unfortunately.
So there's a point there, Troy, is that it's there may not be deep back conspiracy theories, but because of what we're going through, it allows, and it's very simple for those theories to pop in because we're doing exactly, what would lead to half of those.
Stu, you're the conspiracy theory king. I mean, when it comes to this, I think you lean in a little bit when it comes to those things. I know you can't hear me, so I'll repeat myself because I saw you all freeze. I said you tend to be the conspiracy theory king.
I lean in a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I lean in a little bit, but for every conspiracy theory, there's some smidgen of truth to it, but it's not the full end all be all. Yeah. There's 1,000 different scenarios, but there's a little bit of everything in there, which one it is, but we can all agree that this is just a huge petri dish into, the wrong way to handle
Well, no,
a
that's the
situation.
right way to handle a situation that's seriously deadly.
If it was seriously
Right,
deadly.
exactly.
Well, what worries me is this is now a precedent that has been
Yep.
set. And next year, in 2 years or 5 years, when the government says time to do it again, everybody's going to line up like a bunch of sheep and be happy to jump right back into it.
I mean, the big thing is like,
Yeah.
if carbon emissions are up, so let's just say this: we're quarantining because of the virus, and then, like you said, Troy, it's a lead in to a precedent of what we would have to do down the road. And somebody says, you know what, carbon emissions are way over the roof, and we need to quarantine our cars and not drive as much. And we did it for this, we can now do it for that. So it's just
that's what Dennis Prager was talking about on his page, basically saying, if it's for the betterment of everyone, that means if certain people get in power and they determine that global warming, which affects the whole world, we could have to lock down for global warming. It's the same argument, right? For your safety. So why wouldn't they ask or tell you again to lock it down?
Well, if the high end of global warming is real, that's actually far more catastrophic than this.
Oh yeah, according
I'm saying the high end.
Arguments.
You take the absolute worst case scenario. You're going to be in Kentucky in oceanfront property.
Yeah.
So we shall see.
Yeah, but you have to double the current rate of carbon dioxide parts per million to raise the temperature 1 degree. And we're actually in a carbon drought right now. But that's just if you read the facts.
It's about feelings. It's about Karen's feelings.
Stu, I will have you know that I fire up all 3 of my cars for 3 hours a day, just idling in the driveway so that I make sure that my carbon footprint stays just how I like it.
Well, and that way you can refuel them. You're helping the local, sheets down the road,
See,
actually,
just doing my part.
Brendan, it would be better if everybody went and got an 84 4Runner, because if you had 5 84 4Runners, their carbon footprint is less than what a Prius or a full electric car will put out.
That's because of the 22RE motor, Stu, which happens to be the most bulletproof motor ever made. But that's neither here nor there. And it's an 85.
So the funny thing is, I think the statistics say like your average leaf blower and weed eater puts out worse emissions than any car. Yeah,
I believe that.
But everybody has those. No one cares about those.
Well, every time I fire mine up, it belches smoke everywhere and sputters and hell, like I said, my electric chainsaw leaks oil everywhere. So I believe it.
So I feel like I've said
the creek.
Rinse it off in the creek. So I feel like I've said a lot, so I'm going to back off now.
I feel like you're doing good. Keep it up.
Stu, this is your best episode, and it just happens to be the one that's titled Hazardous Dooties. That's quite unfortunate, Stu. It's quite unfortunate.
It's all good. Yeah, I've been watching the Netflix series Dirty Money. And it goes into the whole what you call it, the Volkswagen diesel, that was a really good one,
dude. That was the greatest scandal. Everybody. That's the greatest scandal ever. I mean, that one sounds like a conspiracy theory and was borne out to be 100% true. I absolutely love that. I mean, they flubbed all those tests to get that great, EPA or that fuel economy. It was all bullshit, front to back. It was awesome.
The only thing is they never explained how they actually took a manufactured car off the assembly line, put it in the testing facility, and it would pass the EPA's emissions. But then once you actually just put it out on the road and ran it forever,
I'm sure simple as a computer programming thing where once it's plugged in,
it was.
you
No,
know,
no,
it is.
it
That's
knows it's plugged in.
Troy,
they
you're
never
absolutely
explained it.
right. No, that's exactly what they did. They designed it so
As per usual.
when you hooked up the actual computer to test it, it would dumb down the engine and it would put a bunch of governors on it. And it would make it run at a speed that did not put out that level of emissions. So it was not only were they lying in the factory or like when they were doing the test, but every single car had a little computer glitch in it. So when it got hooked up, it dumbed it down by about 50 horsepower, cleaned it up, called it a day, and then they'd unhook it, and that bitch would go back to being the baddest engine ever and spewing fumes. I mean, it was an amazing conspiracy that they pulled.
That's some NASCAR shit right there. That's what they used to do back in the day.
I mean, can we give a little shout out for German engineering?
This is the same logic that got Germany in a lot of fucking trouble in the 40s. These motherfuckers.
Little different, but I'm with you.
Yeah. Sorry, I was looking for the reach.
Yeah.
I just still don't trust him. It was many years before me, but I'm still like, I know what you guys are up to. A little shady. Hey, what the hell is this? Yes, Stu, look, you're on fire tonight, buddy. Usually you jump out of things at a premature moment. He actually pulled up. This is fantastic. Well done, Captain. And tonight is an interesting deli because this is the first deli that has been sponsored. It's actually
Ooh.
yes.
Here we go.
It has been brought to us by our friend Ryan Parker. Now, you guys may not remember Ryan Parker, but he holds a special place for the ITPH crew because at one time he ran an Etsy store. Well, his wife still does. And he blessed us with the ITPH butthole spoon years ago after our well-read episode. So Ryan is Ryan's definitely an old buddy of the show, to say the least. So we do want to give a shout out to Ryan. He's working now for Tao Insurance, and they are able to do literally everything: home, auto, life, annuities, Roth IRAs, business, farm, boat, classic car. I got shit tons of those in the driveway, so I may have to be calling Ryan here very shortly. And umbrella insurance.
Classic car, huh?
Classic cars. I know, Ely, you've got some classic cars over there, so maybe Ryan could help you out with some of your classic car insurance.
Makes sense.
He's over at Tao Insurance, and his number is 804-855-4567. Again, that's 804-855-4567. It's our buddy Ryan Parker. Reach out to him if you have any insurance needs, and give him the heads up that it came from ITPH. It'll only help our cause. It'll only help his cause, and you're going to get insurance out of it. So that's a win-win. So the first
hit him up. Let him know it came from us. His email address is Ryan, RYAN, at towinsurance.com. And that's TOWE insurance.com. And like Brendan said, they do everything but health insurance. So if you need any insurance need, hit our boy Ryan up and let him know we sent you over there, and he will take good care of you. And we're excited to have him on board, have Tao Insurance on board. And this is the first time the deli is sponsored, and hopefully the first of many more. And tonight we are doing, what are we doing, Brendan?
This is the Voodoo Ranger American Haze. Now, this is a new Belgian beer, and you guys know I tend to like the Voodoo Rangers in general because Voodoo Ranger is who actually makes the pumpkin beer that we review every year. So the Voodoo Ranger is like
that
specific line of New Belgian. Now, this one's going to be interesting because this is a hazy session IPA. So there's two words there that are really interesting. There's one that Ely hates, which is hazy, and there's one that Ely likes, which is session. So this thing has a 50...
An American.
Yeah.
This thing has a 50-50 chance of not getting completely panned. And the Voodoo Ranger has a red, white, and blue bandana on his head. He's wearing it improperly. It's over his hairline. Now, in this day and age, you're supposed to wear bandanas across the front of your face. But, okay, now I do have a video feed. I've got a little read into what Ely's thinking of this beer because I just saw his face. I haven't tried it yet. I'm going to get in here.
Uh-oh.
All right. Let's see what happens. I do have to say the can, it's a great little marketing piece, and it reminds me of kind of an Easy Rider look to it, but it's a skeleton.
Yes.
It's got the guitar on the back.
This screams Easy Rider.
I think that's where they were going with it.
Yeah, screams Easy Rider.
Yeah, definitely.
New Belgian is one of the beers that, thanks to Fat Tire, like I see New Belgian and I'm like, I like it.
Yeah, I give them the benefit of the doubt on almost everything they do because I've been such a New Belgian mark since back when Fat Tire was impossible to get on the East Coast. And I would go out on the West Coast and I would literally only drink Fat Tire. And then when it first started coming, I actually have an inaugural bottle of Fat Tire from Chicago, South Carolina, and Virginia in my office right now because I happened to be in each one of those states when it first came out and brought one back. So I'm a bit of a mark when it comes to the New Belgian beers.
So this is a 5%, 30 IBU, dry hopped with a few different hops in it.
Which this
says it's with notes of passion fruit and freedom. American Haze is a supremely drinkable, juicy, unfiltered IPA brewed with all American hops.
Oh, they're going to shut down this beer. That second note is not allowed. No freedom.
no. Yeah, this is exactly right. I do like how they like stitched the the top half of the can has the stitching.
That
sounds cool.
They do that across together. all the Ranger beers. They have that like stitch work because it's supposed to be this more rebellious, different side of New Belgian. So, speaking of I looked up and I saw that I had this tap here. Ely and Troy, you will be sad to know that the tap I have with the fish, the 420 tap from
dildo tap.
Yeah, the dildo tap.
What happened to it?
It's a fish. It's a fish.
Yeah, dildo fish.
And so it's a fish that apparently.
Looks like a dildo.
So the other night I had this on here and I took it off and I laid it on the bar and it fell off the bar and it shattered because it was a ceramic tap.
You shattered your dildo?
Yeah, now I'm just bleeding every time I use it. No, it's fucking. It's just, unfortunately, it's gone. I no longer have that tap, so I know you guys will be excited. I'm devastated. The tap is busted.
I did notice you have the ram's horn on there. That's a good looking one.
It is,
and that barely fits in your ass, I bet.
You'd be surprised.
So what's the next dildo you're getting?
Something more durable, I hope.
Right.
Oh, you guys are fun. This is good.
Some with a suction cup base.
This is quite literally the first sponsored deli.
It's going splendid.
And the last.
Yeah. It's going to be like, I was really into it, and now I just don't know that you guys are the right fit. You guys do us a favor, call
Speaking
Ryan.
of right
Speaking
fit.
of, I was going to say really into it, not right fit.
The right fit. Do you insure body parts?
All right, I quit. It's everything but health insurance, you son of a bitch. I hope. Does he insure tap handles? Because I'm shattering them. So, all right, Stu, why don't you get us started on this thing?
You did put a lot of wear and tear on that thing. So
shut up. We're doing a deli.
Surprisingly,
That actually drew up a memory
of a bathroom experience. I had you.
Mm-hmm. All right. It's been great. See you guys later. So drinking this on the back end, I think it's got no. Yeah. I'm drinking this on the back end. It
We're
doesn't
all
taste.
15 years old.
Next. No, I'm actually surprised by this. I guess it's the haze part of it that's not giving it the full IPA. If I'm saying that correctly, because it's got a good flavor up front, but like again, like I was trying to say, didn't come out right. The back end flavor's not there; it doesn't linger. Kind of goes smooth. I actually kind of like this, so I'll just give it a 3 off the bat because the marketing's awesome, the flavor's not overkill, and I don't taste the juice, but they're saying it. But I guess it's the hops. That's not
juicy,
overpowering.
Juicy tends to refer to an unfiltered style of IPA that has a little more, juicy flavor because of the fact that it's unfiltered. So that is what you're picking up on.
Okay.
Troy, do you have a number on this so far? We got a 3 on the board.
I really enjoyed this beer, and luckily I bought a 6-pack of it and gave you guys 3, so I still have 2 more in my fridge. And I was worried because it's IPA. I was like, great, I'm gonna be sitting on these for a while. But I think this is pretty damn good. It's got a lot of flavor up front, very clean finish. Not your typical, Stu was mentioning, not your typical IPA funk mouth, gross finish. For me, I like this beer. I would drink this again. I would buy this again. I would recommend this. I think it's a 3.5. I like this beer.
Ooh, that is a big score there. I like it. So, admittedly, I'm
cruising through this beer.
It's good to go.
So, every time I get my hands on an ultralight IPA, I wish it tasted like this. This is exactly what I'm hoping someone will figure out in the ultralight IPA scene. Now, this is probably not low cal, low carb, but it is low alcohol content. And you can taste that. And Stu, I think that's actually
But it's still 5, so it's not like it's
It's
still 5. It's not like it's a light beer.
Yeah. But Stu, I think what you were picking up on is that it's more of a dry hopped beer, which means it's got more aroma than actual flavor. And that's what allows it to taste light and easy drinking, because they didn't just load hops in right at the beginning. And I think that's exactly what they've done here. Yet it's somehow a juicy. So
I just realized something. Yeah, I just realized something. I don't have the vocabulary like you do, Brendan, when it comes to the beer explanation. That's why it all goes sideways.
Yeah. I figured I didn't need any more words than that from the vocabulary to agree with you. No, you're good, dude. I think you nailed it.
Clearly, we have a different understanding of the word juicy.
Yes, you may. Well, okay. Well, that gives us a little read into where Ely's head is on this. The reality is, for me, this beer is very tasty, very easy drinking, but still has enough of that juicy hops that actually tastes really good to me. As far as I'm concerned, of the sessional IPAs, this is right up near the top. I'm giving this a 4. I love this beer. I will drink this again. I'm looking forward to drinking it again.
I'm looking forward to what Ely has to say, because we're getting close to a deli.
Yeah, no, y'all can give it your own deli. I think it tastes like shit. I give it a 2.
There we go.
Fucking
he
horrible.
just gave the quick review. Yeah, you go fuck yourself. That's a 2.
Yeah, no,
I'm out.
I don't understand people that think that flavor's good. Like, drinking weed makes no sense to me.
So it's still far too hoppy for your.
Never understand the flavor, the interest in IPA flavor. Yeah,
and
if it finishes smooth, it fucking as soon as I drink it, it tastes like asshole.
So we had a 2, a 3, a 3.5, and a 4, which I think would put us right around
3.25.
3.25. It did well for itself, but it cannot win a deli because the albatross around this beer's neck is Ely.
It shouldn't lose are we sure it shouldn't win a deli? I don't know that's.
Well, if I average out the scores, it's a 3.25 I think you need at least a 3.5.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm the contrarian, and I don't like IPAs. So if people are trying to find a good IPA to drink, I feel like we're steering them wrong.
Because I don't like IPAs, but this is, middle.
Yeah, I don't like them either, but this is pretty good.
I think though that it's
Do
fair
you take
to
out
say
the high score and the low score?
if you take out the high score and the low score, you still have a 3.25. So unfortunately, I just don't think it can win the deli. Take out high and low, you're still looking at 3.25. I want to give it the deli. I'm the one who gave it a 4. But I just don't think it's quite there yet. Even though I do want 4 more.
I'm with you.
Sounds reasonable.
It does sound reasonable.
My liquid level's still in the top red.
He hasn't got past the stitches.
Yeah.
Well, maybe, look, by the end of the episode, if you change your mind, let us know. My fear is that it's entered into that point where you're never going to drink it again.
I'll give it a healthy shot, maybe 2-3 more tries. And if anything changes, I'll give you a holler.
I like it. So it is 9:30 right now on a Monday, which means nothing to you guys, but I've been anxiously awaiting the DJI Mavic 2 Air release, and I know for a fact that
I can't wait. I saw those. Those look fresh, dude. Those sneakerheads are gonna love those things, man. Those are dope.
No, they're not. They're not shoes.
What?
The Mavic
called?
The Mavic 2 Air, or the Mavic Air 2.
Yeah. Kobe was wearing those.
No,
I'm confused.
It is the latest Mavic drone to come out of the DJI lineup, and I've been excited about this drone for about 2 years, maybe 3. The first one came out.
Can't wait to drown it.
That's not nice.
We're back to drones. We're droning.
It breaks my heart because I know he's right. I will end up just plummeting this thing into the ocean at some point, but I want this drone. And I haven't even seen it. The press release just started 2 minutes ago.
How much is it?
Well, according to the leaks, if you look in all of the forums and such, it's going to be in the 700s.
Which we do all the time.
Exactly. So you get it. So it's supposed to be in the 700 to 800 range, which is exactly what I paid for the last drone that I dumped into the ocean, and I bought that one used. So I'm excited.
What's better about it?
Is it waterproof?
No, it's not. This particular drone, it has.
That sounds like a feature they should make.
I agree. It has foldable arms. The Air series has foldable arms, so you can. I know. So you can fold it up and make it super small, so it's like a little bigger than a cell phone, and put it in your backpack. But take it out, you've got a full-size drone that can kick ass and get out there. It goes 43 miles an hour, so it hauls ass. It's got full 4K HD video, 34-minute flight time, and it's got sensors on it. So, if you're running it right towards a brick wall, that thing will go over the brick wall and keep going. It's also got the sensors, so you could be follow me around, go snowboarding. It'll come down the mountain, dodge trees, keep recording you the whole time. It's a sick drone.
But if it goes into the water, you're
towards
done.
the ocean, it goes directly into it.
Yes, it does not have bottom sensors, unfortunately. But I've been waiting for this drone because the Air series came out.
It loves water.
It came out in 2017.
Why no bottom sensors? They just convinced everybody that knows how to fly them just knows what they're doing.
So the better drones, the bigger ones they make, have sensors 360 all around it. And it will literally...
Why are you excited about this half-ass drone with no sensors on the belly?
Because it costs a fuck ton less, and I'm not going to wreck it.
Good point.
You know, like these drones cost.
You're undefeated thus far.
I'm not. But the drones that cost literally twice as much do have all these options where you could literally run it through a forest and it'll follow you and avoid branches above and below. Like, it's crazy. And then come back to the height you want to get the right view. This drone.
And tell me all the cool shit you're going to do with this new drone.
If there's ever been a time to be into drones, it's literally right now. You can't go anywhere, so you may as well send the damn thing.
I have a hard time
out.
thinking of
you can't do anything cool.
Yeah, I have a hard time thinking of ways I would use one.
Follow me around the backyard.
So to me,
that's epic.
And then what do I do with that footage?
The old drone I had was giant.
Hey, look,
right?
there's me walking around the yard.
But I would send it up like I'd go on a road trip somewhere, and then like I would drag this thing, and it would take up like my whole damn trunk with all the gear. This thing folds up and fits in a backpack perfectly. And then it integrates with your phone so that the remote control is really small. You pop your phone in there, it becomes the screen. Like, so you can keep it very compact and then take it places and put it up and take footage of whatever you're doing. Now, I get it. If you don't think that's cool, like, you don't see the advantage to that. But for me, I would take that thing, if I was on a road trip for work, I would take it up at places that I thought looked awesome, fly it over ravines and like look down at rivers. And I always dug that footage.
Yeah, but don't you like go somewhere to work and just go work and then go to the hotel and get dinner and go to bed?
Well, when I'm flying, yes.
Oh.
So this was back. I had this drone back when I drove everywhere. So I would like see some bluff and I'd be like, that's dope. Maybe I'm weird, but I love flying drones. And like,
maybe I was hoping you could tell me there's other things that I could do with this. Like, what could I do with this in my life right now that would be awesome?
Did you go remote fishing? Could you hook it up?
You could. People use them for hunting and fishing. Oh, that's a big thing about this drone. It's a boatload quieter than all of its predecessors based on the way they've worked with the motors and in particular the blades. So, you know, like when a drone goes overhead, oh, you guys won't hear me. The connection's crashed. But when a drone goes overhead and it's like, whoa, really, really loud.
We
hear you.
This won't be loud. So you can get away with a little more as far as like flying it around. I think that's important.
You know, all those drones flying over your head on a daily basis.
I get it. There's not much, but you could use it for hunting. You could like put it up, see where things are, bring it back now that it's more quiet.
Won't those things just run when it sees here's the drone?
Not if you're way the hell up in the sky. You know what I mean?
You're still telling me I can avoid all of this by just jumping in the water because it won't survive.
You son
of a bitch. You
gotta
be a better drone. You gotta buy a cheap drone to practice, man.
Oh, I've had so many cheap drones. I can get to the point where I can fly those things around trees in the yard, do all this stuff. My mistake with the drone that died in the ocean was misgauging the wind and being too low because the wind gusted it, tilted the axis of the drone. So when I hit the throttle to bring it up, it actually brought it down because the whole drone had been turned, like the front was now facing straight down. And so I careened it into a wave. Yeah.
Oh.
I can't get rid of the visual. I'm very aware of what happened. But I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready for a new drone. And this is the one. So
cool.
That thing just started a little bit ago. I thought for sure I should have known. I thought for sure you guys would be like, oh my God, that's such a cool thing to have right now.
I would be so into them because, dude, like the concept of it is just super appealing to me. Just obviously we had remote control cars and stuff like that growing up. All that stuff sounds awesome. I just can't think of anything practical. Like to me, it sounds like a remote control car. Like I'd go outside, fly it around my house, set it down and take it inside.
But if you had it set up, Ely, you could if you had the right drone, put a claw on it. You could fly it out to your mailbox, open up your mailbox, grab your mail, and bring it back to you.
I don't think that's how drones work.
I'm just saying it's a practical use. He doesn't have to get in the golf cart and drive.
So for Ely, here's how Ely could use it. You got a dope. Your house is dope, so you get to get some dope overhead shots of your house and your land and all that stuff. Your river place is dope. You could go fly it above that and out over the water. That'd be cool. And just came to mind, like, if we had it while we were out there shooting, like we could have got some dope like footage of everybody shooting. That would have been cool. But like,
right, where that's photography, he's trying to ask for practicality.
So
it's video.
Here's an upgrade that this
Not
drone
photography,
has.
it's video.
With the old drones, you would have to set in a GPS lock of the position that it took off from. So say you were on your boat, right? And you're going along. You would set the waypoint for where it takes off on the boat. Now you're moving on the boat. Well, if you tell that thing to go home because you've lost a connection or something went wrong, so it flies itself back, it would fly itself back to the point where your boat was. This one will actually fly back 4 feet from the remote. So that's an upgrade that I'm excited about because I want to travel, right? So, I don't know. Say you're in a traffic jam. You want to know how many, this little drone is small enough that you can unfold it, throw it out your sunroof, shoot up a mile, look down, see where the traffic is, come back in. I'm trying to think of practical uses.
I just asked the trucker next to me who's got the radio. He already knows.
Or stupid me would use Google Maps on my phone, but I'm old school.
Well, like so that. Ely, you enjoy a remote control car, but you think it's a fleeting enjoyment. You're gonna have 10 minutes of fun and then it's done, right?
Yeah, like everything that we've said so far is.
I think the one big difference is because I'm with Ely. I love the remote control car experience, airplane, whatever. But what the drone does, if you have the video screen, it extends your range for the same things. But where a practicality use comes in, I'm not.
Yeah, this thing's supposed to have like an 8-kilometer range that I can fly it and still view on the screen what it's seeing.
Here's the deal with these drones. They're awesome. But if you're not a videographer or photographer, it's just
right
$700 hobby.
That's kind of my point right there. Like the whole act of flying it and stuff, I see as being cool. But like, cool, I get shots of my house from the top. Then I'm like, okay, now what? I'll never use them. Like,
the truth is,
you guys gonna come to my house? I'm gonna show you my shots of my house from the sky. Who the fuck cares?
For $100, you can get a remote control drone that is a ton of fun to like fly around the yard and mess with. And I think that's probably more like what I think you would get enjoyment out of. Right. Whereas this thing is a high performance camera that folds up for like literally half the price of every other drone that has the same kind of camera.
Right.
So,
go ahead.
The thing is, I'm just so close. If I could come up with like 2 things that I could regularly use it for, I would be sold and nagging Angela about getting it.
Yeah, there's not. I mean, unless you got the itch. Like, have you ever flown a remote control helicopter or a remote control plane?
Yeah.
And that doesn't get you excited. Like, I want a drone.
But you can see it as you're doing
it's cool, yeah.
It'd be cool for you, Ely, because you can literally pinpoint it on someone. Like you could put it on Jay on the 4-wheeler and have him tearing up and down the driveway, and it would follow him, and it would stay locked in on him the whole time. So that'd be cool footage, but then again, who wants to see it other than you?
Right.
That's the thing. I mean, I get that it's frivolous.
My buddy Billy had a nice one and he was building a house not far from you, Ely, and he would go over there once every couple of weeks and take it up and take pictures of the progress of his house being built. And he actually ended up showing it to the seller, and they were like, "This is awesome. We don't have anything like this. Can we use it?" And they like gave him a bunch of comps to use his photos for to show other people, like, here's what the house looks like going up.
Drone shots are pretty standard these days for selling inventory.
Like I've been really upset that, I did a Costa Rica trip 2 years ago after the drone had been destroyed. I've done an Italy trip. Like, these are all things that I'd wish I could have documented with like better footage, better than a picture that I could take just walking around.
So my question is can you take the drone, give it your credit card, and go to Wendy's and get some nuggets?
Oh, dude.
Why do you need a credit card?
Or just something.
What's this dude's name? Skweezy Jibbs? Yeah, dude. Skweezy Jibbs could have saved himself a lot of gas money this past week. This guy Stu, you're the worst at transitioning, but I'll take it.
Smooth as butter.
Smooth as butter filled with glass.
Does this dude have a zebra print seat cover?
Yeah, does this dude look like the Tiger King's next husband, or is it just me?
Yeah.
Look at his hands around his neck. He has underwear around his neck.
The dude literally has underwear around his neck as a face mask.
Has he got a pistol in his right hand?
It does look like he has a pistol in his hand.
What is that?
Yeah, that's Skweezy.
No,
Jibbs.
it's a frying pan. He's holding a frying pan for all the nuggets. So go ahead and tell the backstory, Brendan, so people understand what we're talking about.
This stupid son of a bitch outside of Portland, he was having
Skweezy Jibbs.
He was having a tough time. Yeah, the guy's name is Skweezy Jibbs, and he was having a tough time, obviously, like coronavirus. Something tells me, taking a look at this guy, he never had a job before the coronavirus, and he's not going to have a job after the coronavirus unless
he's definitely not essential.
Well, it depends. If you have a meth addiction, something tells me Skweezy Jibbs is fucking essential as all get out, because this dude looks like a meth dealer or meth addict, but he saw that Wendy's was giving away free nuggets, and so he literally figured out a route. There were 11 Wendy's within 17 miles of his house, and he went to each Wendy's twice. It could have been 17 miles in total. No, it looks like it was 63 miles that dummy drove. So you got
times two.
But
Jesus.
they were giving away 4-count nuggets for free, and so this dude went around to 11 different Wendy's 2 times in the same day, which that nets out to what, like 88 nuggets that this dude was able to get his hands on. So I
don't know what they cost, but I'm assuming it's anywhere $1 to $1.50.
They're on the dollar menu.
Okay, so then he got $22 worth of food, and it took him 5 hours.
Dude, he went across 2 state lines and ended up 5 hours, 17 miles is what he did. He looked for all the Wendy's in 17 miles, and he was able to
That's a 17-mile, as the crow flies, but, he probably drove 100 miles that day.
As the drone flies, 17 miles.
That's what we just said. He did 63 miles, even though they're only...
But my man, Skweezy Jibbs, literally has Hanes underwear around his neck in his photo. This is the one he put out there that went viral, this dumbass. He's got a frying pan full of nuggets.
Why the frying pan?
Because he said he's going to eat for a week on this, which discredits Stu's theory of people aren't eating meat. Because my man Skweezy Jibbs eating 88 nuggets.
Yeah.
If all you ate were Wendy's chicken nuggets, how long could 88 nuggets last you 7 days?
I do 10 for lunch. I do 10 for breakfast.
Yeah.
I got 4 days at the most. Not even.
Shit, you got 30 in day one. 10, 10, and 10.
Yeah, but we're doing Skweezy Jib math.
He's on meth, so he doesn't eat that often.
Yeah, so you're saying 5 hours of driving is worth 88 nuggets to Skweezy Jib because gas is so cheap right now.
How many nuggets can y'all eat in one sitting?
Oh, 5 more than you.
False.
That's a challenge.
Are we doing this?
Yes.
Set it up. Set it up.
Do it.
We can do it remote. We can do it remote.
We can do it remote.
Everybody just take one on a round robin and just keep going.
Oh, power hour of nuggets,
dude!
Yes,
nugget power hour is the greatest thing I've ever heard.
I'm 60 so nuggets. Oh shit!
I will eat so many nuggets.
Me too.
Okay, wait. Okay, here's my question. Here's my question.
Do you think you can do 30? Do you think you each can do 30?
Yes, of course.
Okay. So we would need to buy 60 each. It wouldn't be. I would probably top out at 20.
Here's the kicker though. Who or what? Like we all have to have the same type of nugget, and where do we get it from? Is it fast food? Is it frozen?
No, it has to be fast food because
it's have to be fast food.
A fast food nugget is uniform across the country. Yeah. Like you get a McDonald's nugget.
Are you allowed to heat them up?
I don't know about that, Brendan, because
heated up.
a Chick-fil-A nugget is not the same as
a
Chick-fil-A nugget. Chick-fil-A nuggets. That's against the rules.
It's got to be either McDonald's or Wendy's or something.
Yeah, it's McDonald's, Wendy's, or Burger King. Period.
Yeah,
I would say Wendy's, just McDonald's are just so.
gross.
Not good.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Wendy's
see,
ones are
this
good.
is already Ely's given. He's like, "Ooh, I don't want to do it." See, I had you already. I'm in your head.
He's got you pegged,
I'm in your
dude.
head.
Okay.
I'm in your head.
You pick it then.
Was it Burger King that had the chicken fries?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
gross.
No one's eating chicken fries. Now I'm with Ely. We're making rules.
Yeah. So I say we do a Wendy's power hour.
Not on the podcast. That's the worst episode ever. This is just for us.
Dude, no, this would be a hit. I'm telling you, this would be a hit.
Yeah,
It'd be one worth recording.
Yeah.
because we can
Video
talk while we.
content.
I mean, if we
Yeah.
just eat one at a like as we're recording,
We could do it every 2 minutes. It
yeah,
doesn't
we
have
keep
to
the
be.
tally at the end.
Yeah, actually, yeah. It wouldn't even. You wouldn't have to do it every minute.
All
of
you
the
do
minute.
is this is what we do. We just start the podcast where we each have 50. And
Yeah.
at the very end, before we sign off, we're like, "How many you got left, man?"
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to this. This is going
And
to
we
be
can
a
do
bad
check-ins.
podcast.
I mean, we can do check-ins every 10 minutes. Like every time you finish a box of 4, you can hold it up and be like, 4 done.
Okay, so
We're
are
done.
we going to set the limit at 50 nuggets? Like anyone who gets to 50, that's the finish line, and like you've already won.
Well, then
I
it's
don't know,
for
'cause
time.
I've never
Then it's
done
for
this, so I don't
time.
know how many I can eat.
Then it's. For
I don't
time.
either. Like I actually have no idea how many nuggets I can eat.
You really think you can eat? Both of you think you can eat 50 chicken nuggets?
I
So I
told
can tell
you
you
I
this
can
much.
eat 5 more than Ely, wherever that number is.
I can't tell you if I go to Burger King, because they've been doing the special. I'll get the Whopper meal and the $1.10 nuggets. So that's a Whopper, fries, 10 nuggets, and a drink. So if I just transfer that over to nuggets instead of burger and fries, I might be able to hang for a little
What
bit.
does that mean? That doesn't transfer at all. That makes
He's doing
It does.
He's doing math
Hey.
calculations.
So
I'm just
guys,
looking at the
when I go to Chick-fil-A and I order a number 1 or a spicy version, then if I transfer that, that's 47.3 nuggets.
For
No. But I'm saying I eat the 10 nuggets plus the Whopper plus the fries. That's a lunch meal.
Yeah, you saying he's good for at least 25.
Yeah. The hazardous duties too.
20 to 25 is just like, to me, that's the starting point.
Yeah,
It's how many after that can you do?
that's a good question. I don't know where this is going.
I don't
wanna
either.
hit the- I don't
I
wanna
like
hit,
where it's
I don't
going.
want to hit 50 an hour in and be out of nuggets.
Trust me, you're not going to be missing nuggets an hour in if you got 50 in the gut. All right, we'll get 60 nuggets.
Okay.
It's
So that's
3 orders of 20 from McDonald's.
or $6 from Burger King.
Well, what do they sell 20 increments at Wendy's or Burger King?
They sell $10. They sell 10 nuggets for a buck
Honestly,
at Burger
man,
King.
like I like Wendy's, but there's no Wendy's near me.
Yeah, it burned
Oh,
to
yeah,
the ground.
it
We
burned.
covered this last week.
Yeah,
This is why you need a drone, Ely.
I do.
Yeah.
Find the Wendy's. Yeah, the internet couldn't find you.
You know what? We'll just call Skweezy Jibb, and he'll
Yeah.
he'll hook us
it
up.
I can do McDonald's or Burger King.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
So
in.
I think the ground rule should be 60 nuggets, and it will be an hour. So it's who can eat is up to 60 nuggets, and then it's for time. So if
Hold on.
you
I
finish
I don't like this because for
Yeah.
one reason, I talk 80% of the fucking show, and
You
Ely
do.
like
You
sits
do.
back and he could just face nugget. So
well,
unless
then we could do a power hour. You can only eat on the minute or on
One
the
a
2
minute.
minutes.
for an hour, dude, 60 nuggets in an
Yeah.
hour, power hour style. That's
Yeah.
how you do the nuggets.
And,
Yeah.
and Stu and I
Right,
will
but
talk
you-
while you
you-
guys are eating. We're commentating.
Yeah.
But we just do it on a 4-minute increment. So
Bring
like
it tight.
Ely eats one on his minute, then just keep going so that way there's
I feel like there's got to be a way to run a single minute clock in the background while we do this.
Oh,
yeah, we just
I
need a
don't-
ding. It needs a ding. Ding.
I'll make it happen.
Ding. Every
Yeah,
time
they
it
will
dings.
probably do
I ain't
that.
got a ding. We got a screen up here. You put a damn clock up.
I'll share the screen. and
The
we'll
problem is, I do think if I'm eating a nugget every minute, that's 30 seconds of the minute. I literally cannot speak.
No, that's what I'm saying.
And man, it takes
You're-
you 30 seconds to eat a nugget. You ain't got no chance.
Oh no, he didn't. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Shots fired. Shots
Zero
fired.
chance, dude.
No, that's what
Motherfucker.
that's what I'm saying, Brendan. Though is you start on minute 1, Ely starts at minute 2, then Troy 3, me 4. So that gives you 3 minutes between your next nugget. So
then
like
you only eat 12 nuggets.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the dumbest
your
thing I
math
ever
does not
heard.
check out, dude. Your math does not check
Well, we
out.
could do a 2-hour episode, 60 nuggets,
that's what I'm saying. You
That
don't
would
have
be
to
30 each.
2-hour
God.
episode. Oh man,
This
it's
is-
impossible. No, I
you
was saying
got-
if we
your
did it,
math
if
is
we did
awful.
it every 2 minutes.
That would be 30 nuggets for 2 hours.
No, every 2 minutes we all
The
have
reason
to
I
eat
did that was
one
so that
nugget.
people would be talking.
I'm not doing it. I don't want. I cannot
Oh,
eat
okay.
either
Well,
of
if
you.
he's out and we did a 2-hour episode, that's 3 people. That's 40 nuggets.
And Troy,
Stu, do you
Troy will
think you can
carry
eat
it.
either one of these?
I'll be
You think-
in. So
Oh,
listen,
you wanna be
if,
in?
If
Okay.
you're out, Troy, then yes, we can eat on the minute because there's somebody else that can comment, that talk. That's the
Yeah,
only reason I was
that's
saying
fine.
break it up because you need commentary.
Well, that's what, dude. It was these two the whole time. That's why I said you and I were commentators. You never said you were going to be in. So, but that's fine. I'll do it that way too. It has to be uniform. It can't be you eat every 30 seconds and then you eat when the sun is fucking in Aquarius. It's fucking everybody's eating at the same time. That's how it works.
I don't have to brag. I'm just going to win.
Oh,
Oh,
now
shit. What nonsense is this? Stu.
Y'all been
You
talking for
literally
10
don't
minutes and
stand
now
a
Stu's
chance.
coming out. Well, you know he can eat a burger and 10 nuggets. So I hope you guys are ready.
Yeah, if
for
this
that.
contest was who's going to get their period first, Stu's winning. I'm not fucking furious right now. Sorry, Stu. I'm
We can
just
do that
angry.
next week.
Yeah.
Oh, then he's going to definitely win. He's due.
Right.
Like, Stu's going to take us all to the hole. I'll be like, well, damn. So this is going to be a horrible episode, though, because literally at the end of the hour, someone's going to puke.
Yes. It's
No.
going to be awesome.
I'm
All right.
not puking, dude.
I'm not doing
Are
this.
there any other rules that we're putting on this challenge?
We
No.
can't do a deli, though. That's the problem.
Oh, we could take a 10-minute break for a deli. Yeah. Yeah. In fact, absolutely, we're drinking a beer in the middle of this challenge. That should be 100%.
But Ely might not drink a whole beer.
And if he's drinking this
I
whole
gotta
beer.
imagine I'm gonna be super thirsty, so I'll be
Yeah.
drinking something.
We're going to. So at the 40-minute mark, after 40 nuggets, we will have a beer. This is going to
Dude,
be
I'm
epic.
so excited for this.
So-
This is going to be awesome.
So
Yeah.
if you purge, you lose, right? If you
Yeah,
purge,
of
you
course.
lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you throw up, you're out.
What do they call it? No, what do they call it? The hot dog eating contest. Oh, there's a word they use that's awesome.
Vomit.
I'll have to look it up. They call puking. There's a word they used on the July 4th hot dog eating contest. Oh, what do they call it? I'll have to look it up.
This is going
It's
to be
hilarious.
epic. The quarantine nugget challenge.
Why do you have 5,000 Happy Meals in your house? I don't know, sweetie.
I'm collecting the whole
Just
set.
bought them all. I tell my kids, I just
So I would prefer not to do this on a Monday night.
because
I don't want to be. What if I have adverse effects the next day for work? You don't want to still be vomiting.
you're essential.
Oh, you sound like that's loser talk.
I'm looking
is
out
loser
for
talk.
Ely's job.
Thank you. I can work and vomit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I bet I could work 5 minutes longer than you while vomiting.
Okay.
Name
So
that tune.
hey,
I don't know that tune. What are you doing, Stu? I see you clicking.
I'm just you guys chit chat for just a second.
Oh, he's gonna look up the record.
For most nuggets in an hour? The first
Yeah.
10 nuggets are going to be enjoyable as shit. The last, 30 are going to be miserable.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so if we go with McDonald's,
How many
I
calories?
don't want to know the nutrition, man.
Yeah.
500 calories for
I'll be
10
right back.
500 calories for 10 nuggets.
Oh, so 15,000.
500 times 6 is if you get to 60 nuggets.
3,000.
Yeah, that ain't
So
bad.
3,000 calories.
This
Just
actually
make-
sounds really easy all of a sudden.
Yeah, that makes it way easier.
So I'm just trying to make
I've
sure we
eaten a
don't.
3,000 calorie meal with the quickness.
No
I'm just trying
shit.
to
I put a fried egg on every burger. It
Yeah,
guarantees
exactly.
it goes over 3,000
Yeah.
calories.
I might put fried eggs on these nuggets.
The thing that's going to make it difficult is how quickly we're crushing nuggets.
So Burger King is lower at 430 versus 500.
So McDonald's it is.
Right.
I was just trying to make sure we didn't need a defibrillator.
Oh, we clearly do. It just won't be that day. But I mean, I promise you we're going to die at some point.
Can I peel the crust off of the nugget and just eat the meat?
No.
What? Come on now.
There's no rules. Okay.
All right. So we need to pick a day. And we're going to throw down a nugget challenge. It doesn't have to be next week.
Gluten-free boy's about to eat a bunch of nuggets. This is going to be great.
Oh, that's beautiful news.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Stu, your poor tummy.
What's the name of this podcast again?
Yeah.
This one's Hazardous Dooties, but Hazardous Dooties 2.
Right. Part due.
Stu's due.
I'm kind of excited about
Me too.
This is kind of crazy, though.
All because of Skweezy Jibbs. We need to reach out to Skweezy Jibbs and let him know he inspired us.
I think you're right.
What did I miss?
Oh, nothing. Just Skweezy Jibbs.
We realized that Stu's going to do all this while being gluten-free.
What?
Actually, this could be the day that Stu's gluten intolerance goes away. Like like a kid, you feed one peanut every day until he loses it. Stu's going to wake up the next day and be like, bread me.
I'll be, did y'all decide on what type of nugget it is?
McDonald's has 500. McDonald's has 500 calories for 10, and Burger King has 430 calories for 10.
So you're going Burger King?
No,
we're going high content.
We're going high test.
So when are we going to do this? So we pick a date.
Monday, right?
Next Monday?
Is it really next Monday, or should we pick a Sunday where we could just really lean into it?
Loser talk.
I can lean into it any day of the week.
We can do it Sunday. This Sunday.
I'm thinking about 6 a.m. tomorrow.
Ooh, all right. So now you got me thinking strategy. Like, do you skip lunch? Do you not skip lunch? Like,
of course not.
I know what I'm eating for the next 5 days leading up to the podcast.
Good call.
Are you going to practice? You going to run practice runs?
I'm going to train myself.
All right. We're making this happen. We will figure out the logistics, but a chicken nugget power hour in honor of Skweezy Jibbs is going down.
I can tell you right now, I'm going to be aggravated at how slow we have to eat these things.
At 1 minute a piece?
Yes.
You're going to be aggravated for the first 15 minutes. I promise you, after 15 minutes, you're going to be like, holy shit, I still have an entire mound of these things, and I haven't had a chance to talk because all I'm doing is chewing nuggets.
What?
Dude, Nathan's calls it reversal of fortune.
That's awesome.
automatic DQ.
All right, so I'm going to take this back to fraternity days. For the record, Ely over here is actually the champ at what we used to call the Flaming Dr. Pepper Challenge, which involves you. I thought you won it.
No, I was Mad Dog. Chuck was Flaming Dr. Peppers.
So Chuck beat me, and I was well ahead of him. Like, I was crushing Chuck, and I had a reversal of fortune. And I was DQ'd hanging off the back deck, furious. And my excuse has always been, it will still be, I ate too much for dinner, and I'm not going to make that mistake twice. I'm going into this thing cold. I'm going to be hungry. But
I know why Ely wants to eat them fast, though, because if you eat them every minute on a slow pace, your body says, I'm full. If you just
no, because I'm a fat kid. That's how I eat. That's the only reason. It's because if I have a plate of nuggets in front of me, I'm trying to scarf them fuck down. That's how I eat.
I'll tell you what. Then we could do it where you just have to have 5 nuggets down every 5 minutes. Then you could eat 5 at a clip, and you could sit for 4 minutes.
That's not bad. I like that.
That's
a time.
That's how I always did the power hour in college. I didn't like doing a shot of beer. I was like, a beer every 12 minutes. So drink it at your pace. You'll end up drinking 5 beers.
I'm not opposed to that. If you want to do, what do they?
And then that way, that'll help with the talking too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 5 nuggets in 5 minutes. If you choose to do it.
Is it a 4-pack? Is it a 4-pack?
Well, we're going to be buying the 20 packs of nuggets. So it would be very
Okay.
easy to divide them out into piles of 5.
So are we assuming we don't need more?
We're
than
not keeping
60
track,
nuggets?
right? So I mean, I can literally eat 10 and just chill.
Yeah, can you get ahead of yourself? That's
Right, but you'll have to eat one at minute 11.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. But are we assuming we're just going to buy 60 nuggets?
Yeah.
Yes, we're buying 60 nuggets, and we'll divide them out into piles of 5, and the timer will go off every 5 minutes. And if you don't have 5 nuggets down when that timer goes off, you are out.
You're out. But you can be 20 nuggets in 10 minutes in if you want.
No, there still needs to be some level of control here where we're all dealing with the same gastrointestinal issues.
So then no more than 10 at one time.
No more
than
than
that changes the gastrointestinal fairness.
It's the fullness.
There's something about the steady ingestion of food that is brutally hard on the body. It's the same way the power hour works.
Yeah, he's saying at checkpoints we have to have the same amount of food in our belly.
Which I don't know how we're going to check this.
But we would have that even if I ate 20.
Yeah, and you were 10 minutes in.
Your thing, we would have the same amount at that time.
Yeah, we're just doing it differently. I think we need to have some level. It's either every minute 1 nugget or every 5 minutes 5 nuggets, just so we're on the same pace. So if I vomit at 30 nuggets, you're also at 30 nuggets. Yeah. It keeps it more fair.
You can't get ahead. Okay.
Look, we could discuss it off air. We'll come up with the rules.
I'm going to have cold ass nuggets.
Oh, these nuggets are going to be horrible. The last 20 nuggets are going to be the worst nuggets you ever had in your life for multiple reasons.
I'm just going
to
set
them
on
55 nuggets are going to be horrible.
I'm just going to set them on a hot plate and just keep them
50.
warm.
The fact that we
you're
have
at home, you could do it.
Oh shit, Stu. Smart man, a hot plate.
Brendan, you got that toaster oven like.
Why do you think
8 feet from you.
Skweezy Jibbs had a frying pan with him?
Frying pan, right?
He was going
Guy's ahead of
home
his time.
He
He's a trailblazer.
I mean, he doesn't wear underwear around his face for just fun. He knows what he's doing.
Skweezy Jibbs literally had a pair of Hanes around his fucking neck. This dude is an asshole. The one moment he gets to be like viral, he's got underwear around his neck and a frying pan full of poor man's nuggets, and he's making some kind of grunting face next to his zebra skin seat. This dude, you got to check him out. Just follow Skweezy Jib on Twitter.
I think is at Skweezy is his Twitter handle, if I remember correctly.
Because he can't remember how to spell jib.
Jib, yeah.
So you think we can get a hold of this for the in-between time frame?
Oh, great.
I wish you
Drink
could.
these?
Slide into.
Because they're saying it's available for order takeout beer online, like Bud Light's delivering directly for Bud Light Lemonade.
I was going to say, you want to say what it is?
Bud Light's delivering?
This is from their website. You can say buy now, and you get to put in your zip code, and it's using Postmates or these places to
Stu
deliver.
is talking about the new Bud Light Lemonade that is going to be released here soon. You guys don't see it on the internet show, but it's a Bud Light is now making a lemonade in a skinny can to fight the seltzers. Does it say what it is, Stu? Is it a lemonade? Is it a seltzer? Is it a shandy? Is it a Mike's Hard? Like, what is it? What's it say?
Well, that's just it. Maybe it's because it's not released, but they're not giving a whole lot of information. But I think it's going to be more of the.
It's Bud Light with lemonade, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, there's an orange below it too. Bud Light Orange.
But Bud Light Orange exists.
Okay, I don't think I've ever seen that.
Bud Light Lime.
I've seen
This
Bud Light
is-
and Lime.
I got
So, however Bud Light Lime tastes, it's going to be the Bud Light Lemonade.
Well, that's
So
That Bud Light
okay.
Lime's different than the Bud. Like, there's a beer Bud Light with lime. That's a different drink. That can is not Bud Light Lime, right?
It's so weird doing this whole Zoom podcast thing. Like, I literally ran outside, took a leak, and it's like I hear crickets out there. Like, it's so silent because everything's just here in the headphones. I come back in, put it on. There's a party going on. It's so weird, man. People have to learn. Zoom is such a different thing that we're doing now. And there was a story of Zoom etiquette this week that I thought was the funniest thing I'd heard all week, which puts me on the opposite side of the Karens of the world. There was a guy, he's a planning commissioner in Vallejo, California. And
side note, really quick, I think we need to come up with a name for Karen's husband. Who's he? Chad or Brad?
It's always Brad.
Brad and Karen.
Yeah, do you remember our boy Chris Howard?
Yeah.
Chris Howard always referred.
He called them Brads. I remember.
He always said that dumbass white guy that was a pain in the ass was always a Brad, and so I will always say that Karen is married to Brad.
Okay, that works.
Isn't there a Kyle, like the guy who?
Yeah, it sounds like a
just
Kyle
holes in
too.
Walls and like.
I just happen to have
Monster Energy hats.
For the longest time in my life, Brad was always that dumbass. So I would go with Brad just because of our boy Chris back in the day.
I always assume Karen's husband doesn't have a name. Because Karen,
he's not allowed to have a name.
Right. Can't steal the thunder.
Yeah, that's just my better half.
Yeah. I chose to take her name.
Brad hyphen whatever the fuck he was before.
Yeah.
They call me Mr. Karen.
Right. Brad and Karen Ely, the joint Facebook group.
That is the surefire sign of a Karen, is when there's a joint Facebook page.
Or a dude that cheated.
Yes, 100%. Because I always thought it was a dude that cheated, but now I've noticed that there are some of these that I'm like, oh, it's also a dude that married a Karen. There's only two ways you get it. You're either a Todd who's fucking around on your wife, or you're a Brad who doesn't have the balls to stand up to his wife.
Right.
Well, I think there's a third. I've noticed there's an age bracket, like over 65. I know a lot of that. This like
I'm willing to forgive anyone who could be considered a boomer because the guy didn't want to deal with the Facebook page. And I get that. I get that. And his wife was like, no, we should get one. I'll sign us up both and we can both. So like, I'll give boomers it, but anyone who's not a boomer,
you can hear her now. Like
she's a
Karen and Brad have a joint account, so we could get one.
Exactly.
Too.
Why were you hiding? Why do you want to have a joint account?
Yeah. But you're absolutely right, Ely. As soon as that dude fucks someone else, she's like, yeah, we're going to have a joint Facebook page because I need to know what you're up to.
How sad is that when you see it? It's just like, it is so sad.
Yeah.
So, Brendan, you were trying to say...
Oh, yeah. So I was talking about Zoom etiquette, and my favorite story coming out of, like, there is a guy who was a planning.
God.
He's
I'm just reading the. I haven't even seen this, but I'm gonna need you to play it.
He's a planning commissioner.
Oh, is there a video?
In Vallejo, California, and he had a Zoom meeting in the middle of the day on 420, which I think is hilarious. And the dude, I guess, has given up in quarantine, and he decided to take his meeting while drinking a beer, and then he introduced everyone to his cat, and he was like, "Yeah, little bullshit," and threw the cat. And like,
oh my God.
And the footage went out onto the internet, which I promise you, Karen does not like it when this dude is drinking beer and throwing his cat in the middle of the day. This dude has completely gone off the deep end in quarantine, and he just couldn't take it. Now, it's not a violent throw, but it's just
oh my God. Is this going to make me angry at Karen?
Yeah, probably.
Yes.
It's not as bad. Can you?
But you gotta watch. Like,
which guy are we looking at? Bottom left.
My man is sitting around drinking a beer, and then he decides to introduce the cat to the Zoom meeting, and he picks it up and he shows it, and then he just chucks the fucking thing out of the way and goes about his day. Now the whole time he's drinking a beer. And
that was nothing. That was literally nothing.
Someone released the footage of the cat or the cat throw, and this dude got crushed, and now he no longer has a job. So people, hold on to your Zoom etiquette. Don't drink
Did he throw
beer.
that cat? Would that count as throwing your cat?
If that's throwing a cat, I've thrown a cat.
Yeah,
because if that's throwing a cat,
is there a bed right next to there?
Yeah,
you can just throw the damn cat.
That's
on the bed.
and that's exactly what I mean. Like that's a toss. And cats are agile as.
Because I was just saying,
he grabbed it by the neck and swung it around.
If that's throwing a cat, I'm accused of. Sorry.
That dude lost his job.
Go ahead.
That dude lost his job. That's the bottom line. That guy, but he is, let's be honest, he's lost his mind. He did say he yelled, "This is bullshit" to his coworkers during that meeting. He was definitely drinking a beer, and he goes, "This is my cat," and then threw it out of the screen. Like, he's obviously lost his edge a little bit.
Yeah, they don't like him already.
See my brand new iPhone? I'm going to throw it.
Okay, Troy, if I release this video, you're out of here. That's how that works.
That thing has feelings too, man.
I was going to say, if that's throwing a cat, then I could be accused of punting a cat.
Oh, wait. There's a bed right there.
I love that Troy just turned his camera to show us that his iPhone was safely in a bed.
Right.
Well
he didn't
played.
throw that cat. He literally just was like, "Here, cat, get off my desk." Like, that was not a throw.
The biggest way you can tell is if it's in anger, and that wasn't really in anger.
No, he was a little drunk in the middle of the day. There's no doubt about that. Because nobody in their right mind picks up a cat, introduces it, and tosses it. So
yeah,
I am willing to say that he's not making good work life decisions in the middle of the day in quarantine. I'm willing to give him that. But he did not.
To Ely's point, this is the Karens of the world reacting.
And so the question I want to know is, in that video, in that meeting, who's the Karen? Who's the one that decided to take the footage and narc this guy out?
Either Karen or a guy that was raised by Karen.
Yeah, he put it on their joint Facebook page.
Or Karen's husband.
Well,
hold on. No. Go back. I can tell you who it is. Look, it's the guy directly above him with the glasses.
Yep.
Look. No, very top. There he is. Look, did you see him cover his face? That's our guy.
That was our guy for sure.
That's our guy because he was offended in the moment. Sorry, top left. That's our guy. He tosses the cat, and my man immediately can't take it anymore. He's got to pass it on because the other lady isn't paying attention. A lot of people aren't paying attention. This guy's laughing down here. The cat gets thrown, and top left goes, "You son of a bitch."
Oh, he put his hands over his face. It was like you. Yeah,
he had to cover his transitional lens.
Right.
That's our Karen right there.
That was our Karen.
He went like this.
That was Brad for sure.
That's him. That is him. In fact, Ely, you were looking for the name. Dude. You need to go see what that dude's name is. Yeah. There's your name.
Yeah.
Cat tossing and hazardous duty.
Dude.
Oh, my God. Tossing hazardous duties. A whole other name. I'm going to add that.
Literally, if he was sitting at a desk, it looked like he was just dropping the cat out of frame. Like,
and a cat can take a cat is agile.
Oh, God.
Oh, dude.
They're amazing creatures. Like, they're so tough and they're so
quick. Land on their feet.
Our cat fell from my 15-foot tall banister.
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't bother him.
No.
Yeah.
No. He landed and was like, "Oh, I'm so hungry."
Wait, right. Ely, did your cat fall from a 15-foot banister? Oh.
Right. Exactly.
Ely doing Stu doing
that's a visual problem.
I love Stu doing visual jokes on a podcast. But
it's all great. It's all good. Now we know who's going to turn Ely in for cat abuse.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fact. I love it. Well, now you know. Look, everybody out there. No, we don't know. But we do know.
I didn't see the beer drinking. So was he like literally drinking a can of beer? Like who does that?
The guy who registered the complaint showed that part of the footage and was like, and during the whole meeting, he was drinking out of a green bottle. And then he mentioned multiple times that he'd used the word bullshit, which is highly offensive, and any number of other terms, which honestly,
Chinese are going to run us over, dude.
This company
exactly. Too many fucking vaginas.
This company made the wrong decision. I mean, they really did. Like this guy, they should literally be going after.
But this guy does look
the fuck out of here.
He does look a little bit like a loose cannon. He is way too fucking happy.
Oh, they clearly didn't like him before this. You can tell.
Oh, there were two people in that video who are looking away, like, "Oh God, help me!" Like, this dummy's talking. And he's amped up. I mean, his face looks like mine now, but I'm 2 hours into a podcast.
Yeah.
And that dude was like animated and fired up and like drank a beer and tossed a cat.
Go hunt that video down and tell me and let us know if you think he tossed a cat.
Yeah, just Google planning commissioner from Vallejo, California. You could throw in the words cat toss, and I'm certain you'll find the right clip. It's pretty interesting.
I've known women that throw around pussy worse than that.
So we'll leave you today with a cat toss instead of my typical lately just dropping bad news right at the end.
Thank you.
You know, I'll leave you with a cat toss. It's a positive thing. So thank you all so much that are tuning in every week, week in and week out. We hope you're staying safe. You hope you're keeping your sanity in this craziness. If you have a cat, try not to throw it, but tossing it, I think we get. Tossing it seems to be acceptable by our standards. Throwing it into the wall, even Ely might have an issue. Maybe not. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you haven't had a chance to head over to Nectar Sunglasses and pick up a pair, drop ITPH in the coupon code. You get 30% off. And if you're looking for insurance, hit up our boy Ryan Parker over at Tao Insurance. That number again, 804-855-4567. He'd be glad to help you out. If you haven't had a chance to head over to the Facebook page go to the Facebook page. That's probably a good place to start.
For sure.
Engage with us. Send us some topics. Let us know what's on your mind. Or you can always do that at the Gmail account, which is insidethepallethouse@gmail.com. Or you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at ITPH Podcast. It's always a good place to be. And if you wanted to send money our way because all you have is discretionary money and all you like to do is laugh, well, then we're the ones.
Hey, you're trying to help small businesses. I mean, we're a small, air quote, business.
I was going to say small, yes, air quote, business, definitely. And the Venmo is what, Troy?
At Inside the Pallet House on Venmo.
Awesome. Look, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope you're doing well. We'll talk to you next week. Cheers.
Cheers.
Peace out.
Rate, review, and share. That was a pretty good podcast, don't you think?